Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are back on the map Onyx Cauldron with two new competitors. Down here with the 41OS playing Armada today is Marabello, and their opponent with this weird name that you don't really know what it is Neb. Now Neb going for a very unusual start here, going off of a single metal extractor into two wind turbines, playing as Armada. This is going to, well, give them the factory very early, but I don't know how much they're going to get out of it. They're going straight into a constructor, going very heavy energy income straight off the bat. And two constructors into 3 ticks into 5 pawns. And Neb with not enough wind turbines to rush out both of these in time. And actually you see Neb straight away getting another windmill up, spreading these windmills out quite a bit here so that they don't chain if something comes in. Now this map is humongous, as we've seen on the channel before. So early raiding is not really a problem, as you would see on some earlier maps. By now, you would very often have stuff coming in, attacking, before you even got much out. But with the size of this map, it's not really a problem at all. And other than the slight mismanagement of energy in the early stage, it's actually worked out somewhat favorably. We're seeing 2 construction bots and some ticks out already, and on the other side we've got a single construction bot and a res bot. Now when it comes to energy a second, energy produced, you can see that Neb has built a substantial amount more energy already. Marabello with only 4 wins, relying purely on that reclaim energy to get going. But Neb with quite a few more, literally double the amount of energy production, and also not diving into their crystal economy that they've got nearby, or the Trico, as we also call it sometimes. Now, if this is your first time looking at the map, let's have a quick peruse of it so you have an idea what's going on. These cliffs that follow the entirety of the edge of the map are quite difficult to deal with. Spider-based units such as the Recluse can go into this area and traverse over it and kind of sneak in. There's a lot of hidey holes, as well as these sections here which completely block off the cauldron from being able to be attacked easily enough. In the cauldron you have several metal points, as well as a geo point, and a lot of reclaim to be had there as well. And if you get pushed out of the cauldron, it is pretty hard to get back in if your opponent has fortified it enough. I have seen sometimes people build proxy labs in the cauldron here, for example, just to like reinforce that position to make it even harder for your opponent to get in. We also saw fairly recently players using the edge of the map and the build changes that happened in the last year, where units can build anything from the edge of it. It used to be you had to build the center, so like this, you'd have to build the center. Now it's anywhere on that green square, as long as you can reach the edge of it, that doesn't matter. And we have been seeing players use that to build guardians or other types of artillery along there. Now a small raid from Neb here, managing to get double metal extractor. It will also get the construction bot, which is great value for just a few pawns. He would have been nice to self-D them, but unfortunately didn't really get the time to. And Neb will get successfully into the pocket here with LLTs defending his entrance, as well as all of that reclaim. So not really much lost by Neb other than some forces. He did get all the reclaim that was here, as well as the delayed push over here from his opponent. However, Marabello does have res bots and that will kind of make it a bit less of a strength. It does look like the construction bot was completely killed, including the wreckage, which does impact Maramello quite a bit there. Losing that construction bot, there is no way to res it once something is rubble. Now, looking at the rest of the map, we obviously have a geo here in this top right-hand corner, and kind of lane-based map with there being several lanes here, as you can see, areas to control. Now, this is a 1v1 map and designed around that. It is quite large for a 1v1 map, so it's difficult for players to split their attention across everywhere on the map. And now this match does take place in Season 2, so just bear that in mind when it comes to all the pawn changes. And it also doesn't surprise me with it now starting to see a lot more arm played and arm v arm matchups as well. Bit of a mess of a fight there as a lot of Neb's forces get surrounded. And Marabello does come out on the victorious side there. However, there is another chase down of this construction bot, as it looks like Marabello is about to lose yet another construction bot. There's a lot of build power to be losing constantly here. Some ticks did manage to get around the back. Took a little while there to actually start applying damage, but managing to get one of the base metal extractors and a single windmill. Okay, damage, not great. First piece of economy damage, though, that Marabello's been able to inflict so far. And it'll be interesting to see if we see a transition over to vehicles from either player. Looking at economy-wise, though, Marabello is definitely starting to spread out a lot more with his energy production. See the sheer fields of windmills that are being produced. Currently, no energy storage whatsoever, though, which is a interesting move. And then when we look over here at Neb's side, Neb has fallen off of his energy production quite a bit. With only 14 windmills, he is trying to build some construction turrets here to endeavor to help the build power applied to that windmill farms going up a bit quicker, but still a single pawn managing to get by. Quickly microed well enough that these expansion metal extractors are also going to get killed now. Marabello unable to intercept, and that one pawn gets tremendous value. And also, they actually didn't finish it off. Marabello making a bit of a mistake there, not actually intercepting this pawn. And I don't know how much he'll actually get. Whereas along the north side here, Neb applying even more pressure. The pawn that was around the back of the base does manage to get caught out. But again, Marabello losing more metal extractors here, and Neb should probably just retreat with these forces straight away rather than risking them. And that is exactly what he does. Now, this is all well and good, but Neb is not really expanding himself. He's built a huge amount of LLTs in this corner to defend against this pawn push. But when it comes to actual expansion, he has little in the way himself. And as we see a bunch of LLTs planned here, 3 should be a decent chunk against this raid coming in. And a construction turret now also built, which will make pushing into this even harder. And also the free reclaim now from all of that stuff that was in there. But with a transition over to maces from Marabello here, or Marabello, sorry. He is planning to kind of stick it around a bit more of a slower push. can see it's a 2-2 currently, with pawns probably being used for more raiding purposes. Whereas when we look at the unit types here, we see ticks and pawns coming out from Neb. Neb still only producing just pawns. Does have an energy storage though, so if there is a sudden drop in wind, it currently will be advantage Neb, although a energy storage getting built just now by Marabello as well. Army value wise, it's very close, only 4% difference currently. There is a lot of reclaimed wrecks to be reclaimed if there was a resbot out and about. Currently they are only getting energy, and this is a big chunk of pawns here to be careful of. They are fairly even when it comes to numbers. However, Neb doing a great move there, surrounding all the pawns, and meaning that all of them could shoot, as opposed to Marabello's, which only about half of them were able to shoot at any one time. Small groups now just positioning on the left and right. It does look like Neb is trying to slowly push forward with these two construction bots he's got moving along the top. He kind of needs to go more in on these maces, and it does look like he's a bit hesitant to right now, although saying that, he literally is going all in now, managing to get 4, 5. He's going to get all 5 and losing only a couple of pawns. That is a tremendous amount of value, and especially if he's got those resbots moving in nearby. Marabello's forces were out of position, and with that, Neb makes a huge push right down the middle. There are quite a lot of damaged pawns in here, so we'll see how much damage these are actually able to inflict as well. On top of that, a Centurion has made its debut and will make very short work of those pawns, but Neb doing a tremendous work here, splitting up his pawns, forcing the units defending to split up as well. Unfortunately, Neb delayed a little bit there with the micro of this southern force, and there is still quite a lot here. 5 pawns need to try and make their way into this, but it looks like Neb's just not paying attention to them briefly. Come on, Neb, you can get huge value right here. And Neb, unfortunately, losing out on what was going to be a huge amount of value. Meanwhile, in his base, desperately rushing to defend, as a group of 24 pawns makes its way over the hill. It is 24-26, and with LLT defenses going up, it's going to be hard for these guys to make much of an impact. Meanwhile, another attacking force here, managing to take out yet another 2 construction bots. Tremendous work here by Neb, applying pressure constantly. Marabello has just not been able to get out of his own base at all, with the exception of the little bit of pressure he has in the pocket. But this could be big as the pawns make their way over the hill, and it's going to be a lot of windmills killed here as they get in between all these windmills. It's going to be quite difficult to not cause friendly fire. A lot of them actually got killed by the explosions of the windmills, and this one pawn is left alive. Marabello not have radar in base. He actually doesn't have... He doesn't have radar? Oh, he does have one. It's right there. Okay, never mind. It's just because of the low ground here with it hashed means that there's no vision, no radar. So that explains why he keeps getting kind of interdicted. He doesn't have any radars in the middle. Looking at economy, Neb really running away with it at the moment. Double LLTs, or triple, placed in positions, but these construction turrets and construction bots will get killed here in the middle. Question is how much damage are these pawns going to be able to do? Oh, one of them actually manages to survive. For now, at least. And army value is just tremendously in Neb's favor at the moment. Chasing down the resbot blobs. And Centurions now en masse from Marabello. These are tremendous at dealing with pawns, but the biggest problem is just due to how slow they are. You need to have them in position ready to go. And at the same time, Neb pushing down on this north side, just causing as much aggravation as possible, and the Centurion just gets absolutely annihilated, and so do the maces. And Marabello's just not able really to contest. It's got more Centurions on their way, but Centurion's not really able to path up the hill, and we're going to see even more economy damage being dealt. As well as these guys are just still alive down here, trying to bait more forces in. These pop-up Dragon Claws are doing tremendous work versus the pawns. But still, damage being inflicted, quite a tremendous amount of economy damage being dealt. The question is, can they get the energy converters? No, they will not. Now, Neb's kind of free reign to do what he wants here. He's not really got enough energy, and he's still building quite a lot of energy converters at the moment. Actually completely stalling on energy, with energy being down at its lowest we've seen for a while. Fighters also up. Looks like a transition into gunships is planned, but he needs a lot more energy production really before he can make the most of this. There is plenty of construction things around. A geo being built in the top corner as well. There's just a lot of energy usage being used at the same time, and not enough, anywhere near enough production of it. So Neb, if you are watching, done tremendous work at applying pressure. The only thing is you need to be a bit more conscious with your energy usage, because you are massively stalling right now, and it is definitely causing you problems. But what we got outside the base, currently quite a lot of wrecks. Marabello does have opportunity here to get a bunch of things rezzed up. Marabello has been forced into building some sort of AA units as well, with crossbows coming out. It's been a very long time since any kind of damage was inflicted on Neb's base or eco at all. Plenty of defensive forces in positions as well as LTs. Resbots actually also pushing in directly north of Marabello's base, which is not what you want. But just keeping Marabello from expanding is tremendous work. Now, there is a big group here in the pocket. It does look like Marabello is planning to try and remove some of the expansion here of Neb. But little does he know that there's plenty of forces here to defend. So it's not looking too good. Slow push here. Surprising mix over to rocket bots. Now, bear in mind, when it comes to OS here, Neb is 10 OS down to his opponent, and yet is just completely dominating this game. Now, how can Marabello turn this around? Well, that is the question. He needs to prioritize getting the army resurrected. There's so many units here. He can quickly turn army value round if he can get all this resurrected. At this point, he is equal with army value. The only problem is when it comes to just anything else, he is falling massively behind. He's not been able to inflict any form of economy damage for a substantial amount of time. And those Centurions that marched right up the middle were not really able to accomplish anything. Now, Neb finally looks like he's got his economy under control. Not expanding anymore with any more E. Looks like there's a planned build-up of the Geo there, with plenty of construction turrets around the Geo point. But Neb in very strong control of this northern side, and as the Rocketeers march into a beamer, it's not really going to accomplish anything as they need the vision to see. 3 more Centurions just sat up there as well with no form of AA cover when you know your opponent has gunships is going to equal 3 dead Centurions. As they attempt to push in. They're against double beamer plus other LLTs. They are not able to accomplish anything and now start to back off, but the gunships will pick them off pretty quickly. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if we see Neb hold off on unit production for a bit and maybe transition over to Tech 2. Could also go for some bombers here, or maybe just a double down on gunships and try and go for the win. But at the moment, it looks like Neb's just quite happy to double down on the pawn plan. Now we're seeing a bit of a micro stall here as Neb loses a lot of units in the pocket, probably because he's focusing instead on this fight as Marabello's main army gets surrounded in pawns, quickly destroying most of them. And this is just pawns, bear in mind. Even in bar, even units designed to completely, like, not completely counter, but designed to take on the units. It's not so straightforward. It's not cookie cutter. Like, this doesn't completely annihilate all of the pawns. And so you can have your tactics of flanking, you know, more unit numbers, and that is exactly what Neb is going for here. And so far, doing a tremendous job at it. Again, Marabello just not really able to concentrate on 2 things at the same time as losing those forces. And again, these pawns that are all mostly resurrected here get surrounded somewhat. Again, the gunships, surprisingly though, fly straight over them. And now they come back to deal with them. You see how quickly they go. And Marabello knows it's the end. And with that, bows out.
Battle
now, Marabello was just not really able to control any expansion, consistently losing the expansion directly next to their base. And because of that, Neb was able to just completely run away with it. Now, when we look at the actual like metal produced towards the end, look, just huge amounts of difference in metal produced. And even when it comes to units killed, fairly even. Actually, Marabello takes over at the end, but it's just not enough. And active units is a huge difference between the 2 players. And yeah, that's the game for you. Now, this one was actually submitted to me. Don't forget, if you want to send me any replays, just send me the replay from the bar website. And you can just send it to me on Discord, or you can send it to my email, which is in the channel's description. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.